Broadcasting to you on WNN 1470 AM and TrentoVision.tv from the world's leading think tank laboratory, buried deep in an undisclosed building in hostile territory where evil and corruption is exposed. You're about to enter the Tom Trento Show.
All hands man your battle
Tom Trento heads United West, a group that says it defends Western civilization against the onslaught of Islam.
All right, here we go again on a Manic Monday, ready to come into your heads, your lives, your hearts, and disrupt the way you think normally about whatever you're thinking about, and initiate some new thinking on your part. That's our desire here, unless, of course, you think exactly the way we do, which doesn't seem to be the vast majority of people in the world, or the world would be a better place. So what a week we have. Let me ask you a question as we get rolling. Who would you rather go to a bar with and have a beer? Sit down in some manly bar with Vladimir Putin or President Obama? Which one?
Well, put it this way. Do you want to drink shots of whiskey, or do you want to have like a Chablis wine cooler or something?
Well, all right. Well, let me ask you this. Who would you rather sit in the Grand Marshal of the San Francisco Gay Pride Parade with? Vladimir Putin or Barack Obama? I don't think Vladimir is going to be leading any gay parades down any streets in the near future. But today we will bring you a comparison, side-by-side comparison of the third world, Russia. They're quickly moving into the first world status, though, aren't they? And the first world, the United States, and those two leaders, because this is some very serious national security implications staring you in the face. Hi, Tom Trento here on 12 August. Man, August is flying by.
Is it August 12th already?
It is the 12th. A couple of minutes. Let me do the math, because our clock is a little bit off here in the bunker. 2 minus 5 divided by... Did you have algebra in college?
Yeah.
Do you remember any equation?
In college?
Oh, in high school. Okay.
Well, you had to do algebra for statistics.
Okay, well, give me an algebraic formula so that we can show all the kids who have to study this that it was time well spent.
You don't need algebra for that.
For anything! What do you need algebra for? To build the pyramids? I mean, whoever uses algebra in the real world, not some...
Okay, kids, you got to stop listening to Tom right now. If you're in school and you have to take algebra, do well at it. It will. Anything that forces you to think is a good thing for you.
Change your life. Go study political science, because we need more lefties in the world. That's what we need. We need more lefties. We got a great show. Putin and Obama. We're going to look at those guys today. But this is Manic Monday, so we're going to bring you some of the manic. What is it? Obsessive, manic, and what's the other
Maniacal Monday is more like it.
No, that when you're manic, you have a personality that's manic and what's the other?
Depressive.
Manic depressive. That's
Yeah.
right. We're going to bring you.
We're going to take a look at the bipolar world.
The
How about
bipolar
that?
world today, and it's getting more and more bipolar as we get into things.
Well, it is LGBT celebration month or something like that,
Is it?
isn't
Well,
it? So
yeah.
bipolar would fit in with that, I guess.
It fit very well. Tomorrow we have part 2 of the Boston bomber. We have Ilya Festovasilov, and Ilya will be with us. Yes. He will be with us, good friend of ours from Boston. He's going to pick up, as you know, we had a really very cool show a couple of weeks ago as he laid out Americans for Peace and Tolerance and their work over the past 10 years from 9/11. He took us through 2009. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the tremendous documentary that Charles Jacobs and Ilya and a few others put together called
Losing Our Sons.
Losing Our Sons,
Yep.
about the long reach of Islamic Jihad and its destructive nature in families. And then Wednesday is a couple of things we're playing around. Very cool stuff you'll see. Thursday, Southern Poverty Law Center. Do not miss Thursday's show. It is August 15th, the 1-year anniversary of
The shooting.
Yeah, the shooting at Family Research Council. Floyd Lee Corkins, speaking of LGBT, all of that. Floyd Lee Corkins was a homosexual activist. He did not like the stand that the Family Research Council in Washington, D.C. had in terms of traditional family opposed to gay marriage. So he went on the Southern Poverty Law Center website, looked up hate groups, looked up homosexual hate groups. This is a Christian organization that he was targeting. Looked up homosexual hate groups, found this Christian organization that morally stands against homosexuality, doesn't hate people, has an ethical position opposed to that. In this new brave world we have, if you're opposed to the left's view, you hate them.
Right.
De facto.
Well, not only that, but also you're a radical, a lunatic, and you have psychiatric problems, and probably you should be hospitalized.
Well, where's room for...
Which is something that they actually used to do in
They
Russia.
used to do, yeah. It's
Something
Hey,
we
Tom,
have a lot
doesn't
in
that
common
same
with.
Southern Poverty Law Center have you listed as a hate group?
That might be. Very well might be. Very well might be. But where is the room if you disagree, if we disagree, whether me as a Christian with the lifestyle of homosexuality or adultery, I disagree with that too. If we disagree with President Obama's positions on immigration, if we on the right, the conservatives, take a position in opposition, and we're immediately branded as haters and loons and all of that, where in the liberal economy is the concept of public discourse? Of
There is
analytic-
none.
What is the deal?
It's between the
is
far
none.
left and the ultra far left. There's your discussion.
That's right.
And I found in my life there, Imam, are you
right.
with us?
I am
Do you
here
want
with
your
you today. How are
granola
you?
gluten-free,
How was your
or
weekend?
do you want your granola
Fantastic.
with gluten?
How was your weekend?
That's
It was very
the choice.
excellent, most excellent.
Good. I have learned that when you're in a discussion / maybe even a debate on an issue, and the other side starts calling you names very, very rapidly,
That means they have no ideas.
this was hard to figure out. They don't have any ideas, and they don't have the capability to intellectually,
Right.
rigorously evaluate these claims.
If you cannot compete in the marketplace of ideas, you try and shut the marketplace down.
Yep.
That's right.
Hey,
that's
that's
right.
pretty
Good
good.
point. Yeah,
That's
that
a
is
good
really
point.
good.
Yeah.
But getting back to the SPLC, he didn't
Thursday.
just look up hate groups on their website. And by the way, who is the SPLC to determine who a hate group is?
Yeah, that's
That's
total
something that
nonsense.
we need to review again in case you haven't seen any of our SPLC specials. But the SPLC has on its site literally a bullseye map that shows people how to get to all these different organizations. So he looked it up, printed out the map,
Yep.
and
Floyd
then
Lee
went
Corkins.
over there. And not only that, but that was only his first stop.
And he went over
He
there
got
with
stopped over there.
He went over there with a 9mm and 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. This
That's
is
the
Thursday.
greatest waste of Chick-fil-A in the history of man.
And he was going to kill 15 people. He was going to kill more than that, but he was going to leave 15 Chick-fil-A sandwiches by the dead bodies of the Christian employees.
That's right. He was going to
Family
cover their
research.
faces with them.
And the whole idea was that Mr. Cathay, C-A-T-H-Y, who is the owner of Chick-fil-A, it's a private company owned by Christians. Their personal position is opposed to gay marriage, though they follow in their huge business, billion-dollar business, all the federal laws of equal opportunity employment and all of that, never did anything wrong.
Right.
But the gay activist was opposed to the Cathay family, to Chick-fil-A, so he symbolically went to FRC. And but for Leo Johnson, a true American hero, I stood with Leo Johnson in the foyer, or foyer, for those of you more prone to French. I stood in the entry room of Family Research Council down in the Chinatown section of Washington, D.C., and Leo Johnson walked me through the attack by Floyd Lee Corkins. And then Leo, I asked to see his arm, and he rolled his arm up, and was really two arms put together.
Yeah.
When Floyd Lee Corkins, the perpetrator, the homosexual, pulled out the 9mm, Leo Johnson, who was the building manager, not a security guard, went for the gun. It was discharged, went through his forearm, blew his elbow out, and with that severe, possibly fatal injury, Leo Johnson wrestled Corkins to the ground, pulled the gun away from him, put the gun on him, was about to pull the trigger, and God told Leo, who's a Christian, do not shoot him. And he did not shoot him. He held him there. Unbelievable story. We'll get into it this Thursday, the 1-year anniversary, and the sentencing of Floyd Lee Corkins,
which
for
has been
terrorism.
Delayed. Yeah.
Got delayed. It should be in September sometime. That's Thursday. Friday, what do we have on Friday?
Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday.
We're back there. We're going back.
Yeah, you have to go like this if you want me to scream.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Wait. Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday. Okay.
You blew the speaker out in my computer, by the way, from Friday.
Oh, can I just say one thing about what you said about the SPLC when you're talking about Floyd Corkins and identifying him as a homosexual? The reason for that is that's what Floyd himself identified himself as an individual and as his agenda and as
Defender of homosexuality.
the reason for his crime. So in the same way, let's say we have somebody at Fort Hood who shoots a bunch of people and says that's his jihad and Allahu Akbar and identifies himself as a soldier of Allah, then we're going to say that he's an Islamic terrorist. Because that's how he defines himself, not because we think that anybody who's a Muslim is inherently a terrorist or that anyone who's a homosexual is inherently unhinged. That's because these people identify themselves
Unless,
that way.
CJ, it doesn't go along with your political theory, your political program, your political ideology, your Obama BS the people. Get immigration in, get health care in, solidify the Democrat voting base for the next 50 years. And don't forget, Obama leaves office in 2016. He's going to be 54, 55 years old, right?
Hello, Secretary Generalship.
You think that's his job?
He
Emperor
and
of
his
the world.
wife, for all the dumb voters out there, low intelligence voters, whatever it is, low information, this guy's going to be 55 years old. He has
He's never
going away. If he can solidify the Democrat voting base in America, do you know what his life will be like for the next 20, 30 years as the de facto titular head of the Democrat Party? He will be a hero, rock star wherever he goes. The crowds will be rolling out for him. He can do whatever he wants to. Now, most likely,
I don't think so.
It would be like when Medvedev was Prime Minister of Russia and Putin was still running the show.
Exactly. Now, but the demographic may shift. The intelligent people who go, damn, I voted for that guy. What a big mistake. The Democrats, they're going to turn away. But there's going to be more and more low income, low people. He'll be the Nelson Mandela of America.
I think he'll be the Nelson Mandela of the world, which is a real shame. There shouldn't be a Nelson Mandela of the world anyway. Everybody forgets and glosses over that he actually was a really serious terrorist and a threat to a lot of people.
Communist.
Obama will be the hero of the third world.
Yes.
He will not be the hero of the first world. And even now when he goes on speaking tours or has rallies, they have to plump the numbers and they have to pay people to show up in T-shirts and things like that. He doesn't get the crowds that he used to, and I don't think he will when he's out of office.
And this leads right into our show today with the unbelievable rise of Vladimir Putin, terms of recognition as a manly leader, as a strong leader that has a worldview and principles. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But hi, everybody. Tom Trento at I got
5:14
somewhere. somewhere between 12 and 16 minutes with our high-tech clock here. Past 5 o'clock on Monday the 12th. Good to have you here. WNN 1470. What I did, we send out an email every night. I put a lot of the contact information on this email. You can listen on WNN 1470, and you can...
And you can listen on iHeartRadio on your smartphone.
Look at the two colors. I just
Look
noticed
at that.
that.
Are we cute?
Isn't that pretty cool?
We didn't even plan that.
Dolphins? Are there dolphin colors?
No.
No.
Okay, close. All right, iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. You can go to TrentoVision.tv to watch.
On this thing here.
Yes, you can go to the TeaPartyCommunity.com and watch over there. If you were not able to watch at 5 o'clock and you want to see a replay, you can go to youtube.com/TheUnitedWest and you can check out the archives. Who else has us?
We got a couple of things here. We want you to go to a couple of websites. Bare Naked Islam.
Yep.
Our good friend Bonnie up there, barenakedislam.com.
She has a lot of courage,
cool
that
stuff.
lady does, let me tell you.
She pulls no punches.
She pulls punches.
Yeah, we were in her part of the country not too long ago. Had dinner with her on the rooftop of a hotel overlooking the city. It was very cool, and we fired out the cigars and everything. And she's something else. And we want you to go to bizpackreview.net.
Yeah.
Very good Florida blog that has a lot of information. WNN every morning. Brian and Craig, 6 to 9 o'clock. Very important to go see those guys. And
Holly Meredith.
4 o'clock.
Steve Kane and Brian Craig.
Yeah, those guys.
And then before us on WNN, we have Holly Meredith.
And don't forget Dr. Richard Swire.
WatchdogWire.com, citizen
Watchdog
journalism.
All right, well, we're going to get into Putin in a minute. And then after that, we have a report from a county not too far from here. And let's just introduce the in-studio guest.
There he is.
Okay. There's Roger Gangitano. Say hello, Roger.
Hi, folks. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, check your audio. That's pretty good. We're going to pull off of him right now. You can get off of him. There we go. We'll see him a little bit later. You having fun, Roger?
I'm having a ball. Thanks for having me here today.
30 seconds. Why are you here and what's going on and what are we going to discuss later?
Well, we're going to discuss Ibrahim Hooper, and CARE, who doesn't like the idea that we have our chapter meetings for Act for America.
I pull off of that, Mike.
He doesn't like the idea that we're using government property to hold our meetings on. I guess he must have forgotten that he has his meetings in Tallahassee, but we won't talk about that. He just wants us removed from the county facility.
So Ibrahim Hooper out of national Washington, D.C. is pissed at you guys because you're having who?
Well, we're having Dr. Jonathan Matutsits as a speaker tomorrow evening. And he's a professor at the University of Central Florida, well-respected, national speaker. And he's unhappy with that. So he wants the Brevard County government to refuse to give us the room any longer. We've been there for years. And he says that it's a taxpayer-funded facility. Unfortunately, we pay the county to have our meetings
aren't
there.
You? And
So
you do pay to go, don't you?
Yeah, we pay for that room, okay?
Right.
And gladly so. We have no problem making the payment, okay? But he doesn't like the idea that it's a taxpayer-funded facility.
He doesn't like the idea that that you're blowing the lid on CARE.
Yeah. Well, the school board is also addressing the textbook issue, so it all ties in together. Okay, we got some recognition nationally on that subject, and
That's
of course,
right.
CARE has got to counter that by attacking us, and pretty much that's what we're going to say later. But no one knows that.
Okay, nobody knows that.
Okay.
All right, well, that's Roger from our United West operation north of here a bit. We have another United West person in here. We're not going to say your name. You don't want to be on camera. But say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
RR. We'll refer to you as RR. RR is here in our studio. And did the limo pick you up on time today? to get you here?
Such fabulous service you have.
Okay, great.
I
And
have
the
never been
buffet-
surrounded by so many Islamophobes in such a small room in my life.
I saw her having a fabulous lunch in the green room before we started
Yes.
shooting.
Yes, it was amazing, and the picked over tiny box of chocolate chip cookies was wonderful. Thank you for bringing that. And you, Abdullah, you have a problem with what?
I have been surrounded by Islamophobes. It is one thing to deal with you. You are my favorite infidel, along with your little Jewish friend CJ. But this is crazy.
Well, and you have Roger to your right with his Florida shirt. Is that accepted Sharia compliant garb?
The shirt is okay, but the lack of facial hair is definitely not Sharia compliant.
What about all those
the
golden
combination of Judeo-Christian garb around his neck is certainly not Sharia compliant.
Okay.
And
Now, what about the?
and not to mention the garlic on his breath, due to the genetics involved.
He's an Italian guy, that's right. And to your left is RR, the woman there, dressed in Sharia compliant clothing?
Absolutely not. She is lacking at the very, very least a hijab, preferably a niqab or a burqa.
Okay. Now just keep your eyes off of her, okay?
Very hard to do.
Don't stand so close to me.
All right, here we go, folks. 21 minutes after 5 o'clock on our Manic Monday, where we're just kind of get back in the groove with you, see how you did over the weekend. You can chat on our sites, TrentoVision or the United West. You can go there. You can email us during the course of the show. You can tweet. You can do all those things. 5
And
o'clock
the email
every day.
address is tom@trentovision.tv. And
Yep.
you can also tweet at the United West.
At the United West. And we're going to synthesize all those things to make them easier in the future, but right now we make them a little more complicated. All right, let's just take a look over the past 72 hours or so. We left off last week, Jumpin' Juma Freaky Friday. We got to Saturday, Sunday, and Ramadan ended, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did well, let's do an update. I think this first story comes out of Iraq, I believe. You have that story up for us, Damon, our producer?
Yes, not one, please.
Okay. All right. Damon, you pulled this up. Tell us what's going on here.
U.S. condemns Baghdad attackers as enemy of Islam.
Enemies of Islam.
Now, I'll go on and read a little bit more.
That's the United States State Department, right?
Yes, the United States has condemned the perpetrators of deadly attacks in Iraq as enemies of Islam and called the acts cowardly. Now, even though the perpetrators of these attacks did it in the name of Islam while exhorting the name of its supposed moon god, Allah. So they're committing acts in the name of Islam, in the name of Allah, yet our State Department has a better idea of what the definition of jihad is than the jihadis.
Well, let me ask you this. When did the State Department of the United States of America set itself up to determine what Islam is and isn't,
It's
and
a
who
seminary.
practices it faithfully and who doesn't? Do they also determine who's a legitimate practicing Catholic and who isn't?
I do
Are
not
they a
believe
religious
do.
authority?
Well, that really doesn't matter because with the reversal of DOMA, I don't think.
All right, well, here, let me put this into perspective for the audience at 23 minutes after. Very important point right now. One of the reasons why this show, TrentoVision show, or our organization, the United West, one of the reasons why it exists is to take this gobbledygook, this public relations propaganda, sift through it, deconstruct it, boil down, dig down to the core, explain to you what's going on so you are an informed, literate voter. That means you got to get informed, you have to be literate on these issues, and you have to participate in the process to vote. Here's what's happening. Go to my screen for a second, Mike.
On your computer?
Yeah, I ran the IVGA.
Coming up.
All right, this is Al Jazeera right now. Al Jazeera is covering, it's a headline story, in Iraq, and Al-Qaeda, which means the base, we've been through that many times, claims deadly Eid attacks in Iraq. Al-Qaeda, which is an Islamic Jihad organization, you can come back, attacked Iraq on the last day of Ramadan. CJ, what have we been doing for a month on Ramadan?
We've been doing the Ramadan Bombathon updates
Which has been most fun.
from the religionofpeace.com.
All right, now, we have been following Ramadan, which was, as you recall, we did a lot of teaching on this last week. It's the 9th lunar month of the Islamic calendar. And the purpose of Ramadan is for Muslims to enhance their spiritual development. And they have to fast all day long and get closer to Allah, get closer to the core of what the Quran is all about. And somewhere, they don't know exactly where, in the last part of those 30 days, Allah shook up Gabriel, who said, "Go and communicate to this Bedouin wayfaring stranger
The
down in
epileptic, illiterate guy.
Mohammed, and go to him one of three ways." Remember the three ways? Anybody remember?
Yes.
How? What were they?
Well, he
In
came to him in a
dreams.
sense.
In a dream?
To quote you, he somehow pricked him.
Yes. He
Yeah.
Like, literally.
And then he literally spoke to him.
Yeah, he had apparitions that the angel Gabriel was right there. He was dreaming and had a very visual dream, like it was real, and then some sort of transference of information directly from Gabriel. Three modes of information over a 23-year period. The illiterate Muhammad, when I say illiterate, that's not a derogatory term. That's an observation of a state of the inability to read or write, which Islamic scholars are proud of the fact, because Muhammad didn't know what he was writing or reading or any of that, as it was recited to him. Quran means the recitation. So he just recited it. Then a bunch of people wrote it all down. Over 23 years, you got the Quran.
It is proof of the legitimacy of the script.
Okay, that's Ramadan. Ramadan's the most holy month. Al-Qaeda right here is saying, we picked the most holy month to do what?
To kill people.
But not just any people. See,
To kill our
Heretics.
fellow Muslims.
who are heretics. Now, here's the critically important point here, folks. You're getting a very interesting lesson in the theology of Islam that relates to the national security of you. And the State Department right now stops us and says, shut your mouth. We're going to tell everybody what we want them to know about Islam. We're going to teach Muslims about how Islam should be, not how it is. And when you base your national security policies, procedures, tactics, strategies on a false premise of what Islam is, you get the mess we have, the Obama mess right now. When in fact, Al-Qaeda Sunnis killed, as an act of devotion to Allah, Shia Muslims who are heretics and apostates. They are living out the intensity and what they believe, what they read, and what we read as the accuracy in the scriptures, in the Quranic scriptures.
Yeah.
And the State Department put that report back up on the State Department.
Well, they also have, the State Department also has Muslim outreach and a whole educational section on their website about Muslims and what Islam is all about. They don't teach about any other religions that are predominant in countries that American citizens might travel to. If you want to go to India, you can go to India, but it's certainly not going to encourage you to learn about Hinduism or something like that before you go to India, but it will tell you everything you want to know that the State Department wants you to know about Islam.
So, folks, you got to say at that point, either the State Department, and if you notice, these are not dumb people. I mean, Jade Carney, the spokesperson, Victoria Nuland, Rice, Samantha Powers, Hillary. These are very intelligent Ivy Leaguers, leftists, socialists. Some are doctrinaire Marxists. Either they all are completely confused and they can't read a simple book Syed Qutb's book or any sort of primary resource to understand what Islam truly is, or they are cooking the books and propagating their political agenda to enhance the capabilities of the Muslim Brotherhood,
That's
which is
right.
exactly what's going on
That's
now
right.
in this
That's
world.
right.
President Obama is partial toward the Muslim Brotherhood,
Yeah.
and it's so obvious that even the Egyptians are calling him out for that
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
And Putin.
And Damon, you put together a video. Didn't you put together a video to talk about? I think it was a clip from our show
Look at that
about the
cartoon that's up
Ramadan.
there.
I just put together. I
Yeah.
just took a clip out of last Friday's show. And
No,
put up
but
an
it was
8-minute.
really good because
good,
we
yeah.
all had good points and questions to make. And where can people go see that?
Just go to youtube.com/The United West and look under videos, and you'll see a picture of a blown up mosque. Is that the one? That one I sent you last night?
that was really good.
That's
That was
just
well
an 8-minute
done.
clip from Friday's show.
I know, but it
was good.
It was surprising. It was well
You
done.
can get 2 hours of education in 8 minutes for
I
anyone
know. I
who's
was really
interested.
surprised how much we covered because usually it takes
That's
us
some
longer.
genuine edutainment.
It was some
Sometimes-
edutainment. Well done.
Sometimes
yes.
we trip over this stuff and even surprise ourselves.
Yeah.
Y'all.
All right,
funny.
now
Yeah.
here we go so far.
By the
today.
way,
30
the
minutes in.
jihadi leader, the leader of Al Qaeda in Gaza, sent us a warning here in the United States that Islam is coming. So that's out of their own.
Islam
that's
is
out of
coming.
their own mouths.
Was that delivered via Pony Express?
No, it's actually based on an interview.
Delivered,
Yeah,
pressure
based on
cooker.
an interview that's posted on WorldNet Daily, WND.com.
That's a great site too.
That's
Well
a
done, Dave.
website
Gotta go
for
there
ya.
sure.
Yeah.
No, it was delivered by pressure cooker. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
very good.
Now the Al Qaeda component, folks. If just so that we can underscore the point we're making, State Department is trying to teach Americans what Islam is, saying Al Qaeda are the enemies of Islam. Okay. They don't understand Islam. They've hijacked Islam. They've perverted Islam. Well, the Al Qaeda scholars and leaders from the mid '80s on is an array of celebrities in the Islamic world that have laid down the theological Quranic jihad methodology for Al Qaeda. And they're basically saying we're simply going back to the way the Prophet lived his life and fought in war against the infidel, against the enemy, which is pure Islam, the Salafist view of Islam, going back to the original way in which it happened in the first century. Now, what makes more sense? As a Christian, we often say we should follow the teachings of Jesus, the way he did it, not get so caught up in all the absurdities of some of the churches nowadays. That's what Al Qaeda and many others are doing, saying we need to get back and follow Muhammad. If you follow Muhammad, you blow up and kill the infidel.
Yeah.
But watch where this goes. Two videos we want to show you now. Actually, one, the El Shabaab one. When the world gets to be the way it is right now, where Islam is being viewed as the salvific system, the saving system for the third world over against the colonizing West, particularly America, and the failures. Obama's starting to lose some luster in certain areas of the world. Well, now it's time to recruit out of the United States and get people to enter the jihad. Look at this report on what's going on when you think of Minnesota, you think of white skin and blonde hair.
It's just about it's just about as American apple pie as you can get.
Yeah, all the what are they, Dutch up there? What is Minnesota? Scandinavian people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, look what's going on in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Twin Cities, and other areas of Minnesota. Let's take a look at this recruiting video for a terrorist organization called Al Shabaab.
terror groups have been working to bring in new recruits.
In fact, more than 24 young Somali Americans from the Twin Cities have already been lured to training camps overseas. Now there's growing concern over a video just released that's trying to attract more young men to do the very same thing. The FBI believes Al-Shabaab released this 40-minute video that follows 3 Twin Cities men on the path to martyrdom. Bill Hudson watched that video, and he's looking into the impact that it's already having. Bill, it's a pretty disturbing video.
It certainly is having big concerns out there. Now, the video released overnight, Frank, is a deliberate attempt to recruit more fighters to jihad in Somalia, but it's already drawing an immediate rebuke from Somali community leaders and the FBI. For the past 7 years, federal agents have been investigating and prosecuting Minnesota's terror pipeline, the recruitment of young Somali men here in Minnesota into Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda training camps overseas.
It is troubling because they're using the medium of video to romanticize what it is to go to Somalia and fight. And it's appealing, unfortunately, to some young men here in Minneapolis.
I was surprised when I see the Twitter.
On Tuesday, Al-Shabaab sent out a tweet saying it would document its Minnesota martyrs. Just after midnight, the propaganda video hit the internet.
And we will fight back and incite others to do the same.
The 40-minute video follows 3 young men who left local high schools, even the University of Minnesota, to join jihad in Somalia. From their training camps to the battlefield, pausing to appeal for others to join them.
This is the real Disneyland. You need to come here and join us.
The video is both violent and graphic, following each man to his death. Local Somali leader Abdurazak Bihi lost his nephew to the recruitment and is now an outspoken critic.
We and Al-Shabaab have one thing in common. We are competing for the hearts and minds of the young people.
However, to do a better job of that, more resources are badly needed in the Somali community. Meantime, the video ends with the promise that a second episode will be released on other Minnesota martyrs. Frank?
Well, Bill, talk about distribution. Can anything be done to stop it or limit it? I mean, obviously, you don't want these young men being able to have access to it.
Yeah, you'd like to black it out.
Yeah. He goes on to say, it's okay. He goes on to say that it got put up and then YouTube took it down, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
How do you get from Somalia to Minnesota anyway?
Well, look, I'm going to
that
Somalia.
would be a United Nations refugee resettlement program.
Wait a minute. Look on the screen. Everybody driving your car. I'm playing like a weatherman. Somalia is right around here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And then Minnesota is up here somewhere, right?
Keep going a little bit.
Okay. Right up there.
I can't reach or all my plugs are going to come out.
And folks, this is amazing because there's nothing really here. So I'm kind of guessing, but this is how the weather people do it. Somalia, Minnesota. All right, now.
Did they take their pirate ships all the way there?
Hello?
Our guest RR was wondering.
Yeah.
Did they take their pirate ships? Well,
I've asked Jihadis.
If you are in the Fort Pierce area of Florida, put on your bucket list to go east and go to the Navy SEAL Museum, the UDT Navy SEAL Museum. And in a new big building that they built connected to the smaller museum, you can walk in there and you can go on the Maersk, Alabama lifeboat, as I did. You can walk up the steps. You can look and see the bullet holes right in the windows where the 3 SEAL snipers whacked the 3 Somali pirates, all in one shot, each firing one shot. Yes, pirate problem in Somalia, but how do the Somalis get to Minnesota and then go do jihad?
Yeah.
How's that work?
They're deliberately
United
resettled
Nations relocation, refugee relocation.
Yeah, but the United States settles them here on purpose, and they deliberately take these large communities of illiterate Muslim groups and bring them and deposit them in basically the Bible Belt areas of the United States, as if they're expecting them to integrate. No, what they want to do is they want to de-Christianize the United States, and they're importing.
Guess who's next? Guess who the next group's going to be?
Who's the next group?
The Syrians that are being dislocated from the civil war. So expect 80 to 100,000 displaced Syrians to be coming to a neighborhood near you.
I thought maybe you were going to go along the lines of Morsi supporters from Egypt who need to claim political asylum. So let's just relocate the Muslim Brotherhood of Egypt to somewhere in the United States.
And least we forget. Remember in '93, we had a little incident in Mogadishu, Somalia, and
Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, when we still haven't learned our lesson, because part of this transfer of political
and this is tens of thousands of people. They have no business coming to the United States.
35,000 in
xenophobe
an area of San Diego called Little Mogadishu.
Yeah.
We did, Frank Gaffney, myself, a few others, we did a presentation in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah.
And 190,000 people in the town, 4 mosques full of Somalis. Somalis in the middle, there's 900,000 people in the whole state of South Dakota. There's tens of thousands of Somalis. And the whole concept is...
They're there for Sturgis, Tom.
Yeah. Bring these folks and put them into different environments. Don't put them in hot environments necessarily. Put them in other areas, and they get hooked up with these leftist Catholic and Protestant organizations as doing a good deed. Right. And El Shabab means the boys. It means the young mujahideen, the young warriors of Allah, and their nickname is the boys. That's what El Shabab.
What they do is they take all this federal, state, and local aid, all the charitable aid from the church groups and the building bridges of peace groups, and they take that money and they use it to insulate themselves as communities from the surrounding American communities, to insulate themselves, to be on welfare, to be the taxi drivers who won't allow you to have your seeing guide dog in the cab, to instigate and promote Sharia and advocate for that and force Americans basically to be Sharia compliant, or they will become unruly. That's what they want to do when they get here.
452.
They want to transform the United States in their own image.
452.
452 days until November 4th, 2013.
That's why we do this show, to mobilize all the viewers on all the listeners on WNN 1470, all the viewers on TrentoVision, Tea Party Community, The United West, every place else this thing is being seen, to mobilize you in 452 days to understand the implication of these seriously important, highly critical national security concerns. This deals with unfettered immigration, horrendous policies on political asylum to people that are our enemy. No one in the world has a right to be a citizen of the United States of America. Nobody has that right if you're not born in America, if you're not in America. No foreigner has a right to become a citizen or even to come to this country.
Or even to be a resident of this country. It's a privilege to be allowed to visit this country, to stay in this country, to have the opportunity to become a permanent resident or a citizen. That is a privilege, and you have to earn that privilege.
I can completely disagree with
and just
both
by
of
the
you.
fact that you were born on the planet Earth does not give you the right.
We're going to America.
You are completely wrong. Your country is responsible for plundering most of the world, and this is your payback now. You have taken advantage of all the third world nations for many long time, and now you're getting your chickens are coming home to roost cluck cluck.
Right. Well, actually, what Imam Abdullah is expressing here is the worldview of Obama and his United States ambassador to the UN and his State Department secretary.
Let me ask Abdullah something. What would be the most grievous wrong that the United States did in some country?
Yeah, what did we do to Somalia?
What's the worst? Yeah, what have we done to Somalia?
That we should import 100,000 refugees.
Well, you are backing a very unpopular government that is trying to keep the Sharia law from taking over. You're not letting the warlords that want to impose the Sharia to do so. You're defending a very not so popular government and trying to defend Christians.
And just how many troops do we have in that country right now?
None.
Okay. Just want to be clear about that.
All right, so
and why is that? Because we chased you out in 1993.
I see how that works. Okay, but that sadly is the mindset. But there's another country that ain't taking any of this crap. And right now we're going to just show you a little bit about this country. But in particular, the point we want to make on the Putin-Obama segment right now is to show how the absolute crass capability, the amateurish. It was a book written by Ed Klein, I think his name was, called The Amateur, about Obama being a rank amateur. This is a guy that never really had a full-time job. He was a community organizer. He got elected in a fluke on a state level in Illinois, and then he got the Saudi leftist machine behind him, and they played their Chicago politics perfectly, got elected senator, and just in one of those creases in history where a little opening occurs, that crease was exploited, and he now is the president of the United States. I can't believe this. But because he doesn't possess the skill set to deal on a global level, take a look at how he has nurtured a critically important relationship. And we want to objectively analyze where we are with Putin and Obama right now. Play that first take.
My last election, after my election, I have more flexibility. I understand. I trusted this relationship.
That's unintelligible for some reason. The audio is unintelligible. Oh, you know what? It's playing fast.
My last election, after my election, I have more flexibility. I understand. I trusted this relationship.
Okay, I got it. All right, what it was...
That's a bunch of cameras snapping in the background. I tried to take it out as much as possible.
No, what it
that was the infamous...
Yeah, that's when Obama, before the election of 2012, was with President Medvedev of Russia, before Putin was the president. And
before he was the president again.
Yeah,
but he was the prime minister.
He was prime minister at the time, and Medvedev was the president. Really, he was kind of a symbolic.
Yeah, they just switched jobs for a few years.
But this is that famous, that's why the audio was a little rough, because it was a closed mic. Everybody thought it was a closed mic, but it was an open mic somewhere, not on them particularly, an open mic a little further away. That's why you get a lot of background noise. And remember what he said to Medvedev?
Yeah, he said, wink, wink, wait until after the election, and then I'll have a little more flexibility for our mutual agenda.
To work with you on removing air defense systems from
Right,
Europe.
to unilaterally disarm the United States and withdraw all support for our European allies while you rearm yourselves.
He'll have the flexibility to bend over for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, now watch what that was about a year and a half ago. Now watch the next phase of development of our Russian relations. I keep wanting to say the Soviet Union, but it's not yet.
Soviet Union.
Of cooperation in this domain.
В том числе на уровне председателя правительства Российской Федерации и вице-президента Соединенных Штатов.
Including at the levels of the chairman of government of the Russian Federation and the vice president of the US.
They look real friendly, don't they?
Okay, what you're looking at, if you can roll the video, just lower the
about
audio.
the matters of security.
This was June 17th, about 2 months ago. Today's the 12th of August. June 17th, 2 months ago. And a wonderfully... Who staged this press conference? First of all, instead of standing in front of a podium where the body language is harder to read, they sit him down in the middle of this stage with an open field in the back with a little table. and it is comical.
They look like two kids that got sent to the principal's
That's what
office
I
for
was
fighting
thinking
each
too.
other.
Yeah.
And Putin, everybody saw this and said, "What is with Putin?" Well, let's just analyze Putin. You can let it roll, Mike. Let's analyze Putin for a little bit up against Obama. What is Putin's quick background? Anybody knows?
KGB?
KGB, yeah.
Yeah, but he was a low-level operative in
No, he
East-
wasn't.
Yeah, he was in East Germany. He had not the top job and not the top town. He was not a top dog in the KGB at all.
But he
was
in the
like a
KGB.
middle management kind of guy.
All right, but that's
but he
like,
worked hard and he towed the party line and he didn't get in any trouble with anyone over him or under him or
Which is hard
or
to
beside
do.
him. So he played the middle of the road very well and he learned his lessons.
Ooh, he'd make a good GOP candidate.
there are some you can come back here, Mike. There are some and the KGB. If
the KGB.
Whenever you can, either on National Geographic or Discovery, they're always doing something on the KGB. It's really a fascinating organization.
Yeah.
Similar to our Central Intelligence Agency. The KGB, though, was extremely difficult to not get in trouble because so many people were looking so many different ways. So he exhibited political skills while being a spy. Now, just to get to the level of being KGB, you had to also demonstrate exquisite physical capabilities in terms of your physique, your endurance, your survival tactics and techniques, your shooting capabilities, your killing capabilities. This is what KGB agents learn. While Putin, how old is Putin? He's a little older, right?
Yeah, he's a little bit older than Obama.
Let's find out how old Putin is if somebody can find
He's
that
still
out.
in his 50s.
Late 50s. So he's a few years older than Obama. Obama's what, 52 now? 61, 52. Obama just turned August 4th. Let's see how old Putin is. But while Obama was studying with Franz Fanon, studying about Franz Fanon at Occidental in Columbia, and smoking dope with the hipsters, the freaks. This is a quote out of his book. The hipsters, the freaks,
61.
the socialists, the Marxists. 61?
Yeah.
He's
No,
10
I
years
thought it
older.
was like 59.
Oh,
Actually, he'll be 61 in 2 months.
That even raises the stakes of what I'm saying. While Obama was screwing around and becoming a leftist in school, Putin, who's 10 years older, was studying to be a paid assassin, a killer, a spy.
Oh, look at that.
Well, yeah, this is Putin early on the left. We're looking at a picture, and then Obama. That's a 19-year-old Obama at Occidental College in Los Angeles.
Looks like he's in Havana.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so just get in your mind, folks, because the next few months of relations with Russia, particularly as it relates to Iran and Syria, are going to be critical in terms of the positioning of the United States from a national security perspective.
Yeah.
And we all know the Soviets have plotted and mapped out the psychology, the persona of Obama. They know his strengths and his weaknesses. And we are clueless on how to understand who Putin is and how to handle Putin. What are you going to say?
Well, what I'm going to say is right from the start of Obama's first administration, he set out the Obama doctrine. He had Hillary out there talking about resetting the button with Russia, and it was going to be a whole new relationship. And the Russians just laughed at us.
Totally.
They took one look at Obama, they took a look at Hillary, and they said, we're going to steamroller over you, and we're going to steamroller over the whole world, and there's nobody out there except for maybe the Chinese or the Iranians who can stop us. And so what have they done? They don't need us economically, so they have no reason to even be neutral with us, except for just to play with us like people play with their food. And they've allied themselves with the most dangerous economic aggressors and nuclear aggressors on the planet.
This is bad stuff.
And that is
In fact,
not a good thing. And
No,
that's
it's
what
very bad.
happens when the United States does not behave like a superpower that it should. It creates a vacuum a nation like Russia steps in to fill in the vacuum, and Islamic supremacism is the overriding philosophical, political theme that takes over and fills in the vacuum all over the planet.
Yep.
That's
this is
what
so
happens.
important, folks.
That's why it does matter to you in your life when the United States is weak internationally and domestically.
This is so important. We're gonna leave Russia on this point. We're gonna go to Roger for a minute for local stuff. Tomorrow, Ilya, who is going to give us part 2 on the Boston bomber, happens to be a Russian born in Siberia. So we're going to pick up on our study, our analysis of Putin versus Obama, and we're going to talk to a real Ruski tomorrow from Siberia, get a little insight into the whole thing. But right now, let's go to Roger Gangitano. Roger, welcome.
You only have 2 minutes.
You got a few.
Just kidding.
We already introduced. Give us a quick statement of the situation. Tell us why it's serious and what do we need people to do to make this work right.
Well, first, Dr. Jonathan Matuzits has been drawing the attention of CARE for a long time, but specifically last January, he did a presentation in which he said that there's a clash of civilizations between their culture, the Islamic culture, and our culture, and it's really a war of ideas. Apparently CARE didn't like that, so they've been on his case, and now that we've invited him to speak at our ACT Space Coast chapter meeting tomorrow night, they're coming after us. And they've attempted to try to get the county of Brevard to pull back our use of the room, which we pay for.
Right.
Okay, it's not done on taxpayer dollars. Okay, there's no association between ACT for America, ACT Space Coast, and Brevard County leadership.
Right.
Excuse me. So they're trying to suggest that because we have our meetings in a county building, that it gives an air of
government
agreement.
support for your speakers or for your group, which of course
county
is
commissioners,
ridiculous.
we're in their meeting room. I don't think I've ever seen a county commissioner attend one of our meetings. Okay, they don't attend. I'm not sure if they're permitted to or not, but they don't specifically so that they don't draw that type of attention on themselves.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. Our chapter has also been very involved in identifying misrepresentations in the textbooks that are used in the high school. The Prentice Hall World History 2013 textbook has misrepresentations in it where they claim that Jesus proclaimed himself to be a prophet, but Muhammad actually became a prophet.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's what it is. They've got 36 pages on the rise of Islam in that textbook.
Well, hold that subject, because that's a whole other subject we want to deal with.
Yeah.
On this, and we got about a minute left, on this CARE attacking you guys, what was the form of the attack? A letter to the...
They contacted the Brevard County Board.
And what did the county board say?
Well, I spoke to them earlier today. They seem to feel that we have no problem, with our agenda. We've been there for years. There's never been a problem.
Right.
And
what do you anticipate CARE's next step?
I expect that they will try to stay focused on us and try to cause us as many problems as possible. I've invited Ibrahim Hooper through J.D. Gallup, the guy who did the article in Florida Today, which I think was relatively balanced, and I thank them for that. They're not usually considerate towards our views. But I've invited Hooper to come to our meeting. Maybe he'll find that we're not the hate mongers, that he claims that we are. I doubt that he'll show up, but he's welcome.
All right, well, we're going to stay tuned to this. Roger Gangitano in a little battle in Brevard County with big bad CARE. They really are a paper tiger. I mean, they are cultural terrorists. They're useless. They're just useless as an organization. But that's
they let their
more
parent
to follow.
company Hamas launch the rockets, and they launched the lawsuits.
We got to say goodbye. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
See you tomorrow.
Allah Akbar.
Boston bomber tomorrow. Take care. Bye.